Show us up, YouTube. Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chichi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Guys, it's a good day to drink coffee. Women military draft likely. Yes, guys, you heard it right. Women getting drafted into the military. That's the conversation here. And you get to sit back and watch. Let's check it out.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted. It is not just the boys that will get drafted in World War III. It's no mystery that nearly every branch of the military has not been meeting its recruiting goals. The Air Force, the Army, the Navy missed by over 7,000 sailors. And the Coast Guard's not even real military, but we'll include them to be nice. But they missed too. And women being drafted into the military, this is not the first time this conversation has come up. Back in 2021, which doesn't he look so grumpy? Senator Hawley brought this back up in 2022, and I doubt he's forgotten it considering the saber rattling happening globally. And there are several other senators that are in support of women being required to register for the draft.
We love to see it.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
We love to see it. Wow. That's beautiful.
Besides the recruiting crisis, this comes at a time when the president has approved an inactive reserves to be called back, approximately 3,000 personnel. And there are several consultants to the White House and the Pentagon, like Lieutenant Colonel Joe Plinzler, who has not only requested for women to be drafted, but a mandatory draft for all citizens. He thinks it'll help the public connect better with the government and why they make decisions. And this all comes at a time when the U.S. continues to antagonize Russia by sending funding and military equipment to Ukraine and antagonizing China by funding Taiwan, so good luck.
Women react to the possibility of them being drafted.
Okay, y'all, this is a totally different type of content today, and I look busted, absolutely busted, but I just came in from work. Again, no makeup, my hair looks like trash. I don't even care at this point because I'm frantic. So ever since I was little, I've had this super irrational, scary phobia of, like, war, being bombed, like, nuclear weapons, like, all that stuff. Like, I would freak the frick out. And then with all this stuff with Ukraine and Russia, I don't know where I've been the past few days, but I'm just now hearing of all of it, like, earlier today at work. I'm, like, hyperventilating at my desk, sweating, asking all my coworkers to tell me something to make me feel better about this. But there's really nothing at this point. So my therapist was like, you should do some mindfulness. So I'm being mindful, and I have made a long, detailed list of why I should not be considered for the draft.
Dear God, I don't want to be drafted. Big thank you to the uber feminists out there. You're the ones who are like, women can do anything. Yeah, I can do everything a man can do. Okay, well, you opened your big trap. Had to open your big trap. Now women might be drafted in the
We did that under Obama.
And you can't even complain about it because you wanted this.
We all wanted
equality
it.
for all.
Yeah, we all wanted
Not that, I want women to be abused
Everyone
or
went
anything,
along
but
with it.
Women will now be required to register for selective service, which would enable them to be drafted.
Ooh, you guys wanted equality. You guys said anything he can do, I can do better. Andale, ahí les llega. Show him you can do better. Stop complaining. Sign your name. Come onto the dark side. But this is not what we meant when we said we wanted equality. Well, that's what equality for all looks like, sweetie. So, lace them boots up.
If I get drafted to the war, I'm gonna say explosive diarrhea every day. Close quarters. Nobody's gonna want that.
No, I do not want to do that. So I think you're being, like, really toxic and honestly gaslighting me. And my therapist said I do not have to deal with that. So it's going to be a no for me, dog. Hypothetical situation. When we get out there, we're on the front lines. All of us ladies, because obviously we're all going to be together. We do not want to be around y'all. But what are we going to do when we all sync up? Y'all could barely handle it when we were in high school and we were all on our periods, and now we have guns as well. So just let me know how y'all are going to react to that. Okay? So see, there's, like, a lot of pockets on our uniforms. Do these all have to have, like, military stuff in it, or can I put some snacks? Because, I mean, these would fit my snacks perfect. I can fit almost a whole pound of beef jerky in this one pocket on my leg. Can you at least let me know, like, where I'm going to be sent to? Like, where the little, what's it called? Base? or where I don't know, wherever I'm gonna freaking be with all my other people, I need to call them. Because I need to know the filtration system on the water. I've been working real hard on this here. I cannot be just well water. Are you crazy? I need a filter. Whatever. Can I at least like, use my AirPods? Listen to an audiobook? What's the Wi-Fi situation out there on the hotline?
Hi, John Cropper.
Should women be drafted? For war? That's too tough for me. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think it might put a stop to it, maybe. Of course. It is. I mean, do I want to be drafted? Drafted. Not the last one. Not for me. That's no from you.
I have a solution to the women being drafted problem. And if you're a woman aged 18 to 24, you need to listen to this. And if you haven't heard yet, they're proposing a bill to draft anyone aged 18 to 24, but whether you are male or female. So this is my proposed solution. We're going to Uno reverse there. Remember how last June they overturned Roe versus Wade? If that bill passes, go get pregnant. Go get pregnant. They can't make you have an and they can't draft a pregnant woman. Go get pregnant. And if you're sitting there right now and you're saying, well, I'm not ready to be a mom, are you ready to be a soldier? Are you? Because if you go over there and get injured, the VA is going to do the bare minimum I can promise you to help you. But the government will help you raise a baby. I mean, the whole point in overturning Roe versus Wade was military. I could make another video on that if you guys want me to. But if they pass that bill, go get pregnant. Okay, bye.
So first off, I'm technically disabled. I do have rheumatoid arthritis, so that would be really painful for me. Physically and mentally. Sorry if I'm stuttering or speaking too fast. I'm frantic. I also have Crohn's, so I would quite literally shit myself on the combat field. I'm not, like, I would literally shit myself. I'm also dyslexic, so if there's like a game plan or like one of those little things with the X's and O's that they use in football, where they tell you where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, I can't read it. I'm not gonna be able to read it. I can't run. I never have been. I used to do the mile run at school. I would like make myself throw up so I didn't have to do the mile run. I can't run. Look at me. I don't fucking run. I wear contacts. They get dry all the time. I have to have my contact drops on me. They're in my pocket right now. Hold on.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care.
Dear God, I don't want to be drafted. You did this. Damn it.
No, I can tell you right now you don't want me. Take one look at me. You think I can defend our country? I can barely defend myself in an argument. Why do women even have rights? I want to go back in time to when we had to be in the kitchen, no voting, no working, no rights. I'm fine with that. I don't want to go to war. I'll be in the kitchen making Pookie a sandwich until he gets back.
Who do you think you're talking to? We're literally all mentally ill. Disqualified.
Someone really said, are you worried about being drafted into the military? I tried that myself when things got rough on, like, peaceful. Put me in a war, a gun. It wouldn't be the enemy taking me out.
Honey, they're saying a lot of women are going to be getting drafted. What are you going to do if I get drafted?
I'll pack your bags for you.
This is serious.
You can find all your cute little camo outfits. Be good to go.
I wonder who else is going to be there.
My eyes will get dry. They'll get blurry. I won't be able to see. I will accidentally shoot the commander-in-chief. I have severe anxiety and it does cause me to shake. So while I'm trying to shoot, at the enemy, I could easily misfire and hit someone important. I don't know, like the president. I don't know who would be on the combat field. I'm on a lot of medications. I'm talking like 30 bottles at a time. My purse looks like a freaking pharmacy. I carry around a pharmacy with me all the time, and I don't think that they would let me have that. Like on the war ground, on the field, on the battlefront. I don't think they would let me carry that with me. I'm only 5'2", and I've heard that the trenches out there are like 6 feet deep, and I wouldn't be able to see over them. I would be useless. I wouldn't be any of help. I just had not one but 4 of my toenails removed. So, I can't run with 10 toenails, much less 6. I have severe separation anxiety from my mama, and I don't think I can FaceTime while in war. I don't think that they let you do that. I'm attached to a Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal. Imagine a Russian person seeing me with a Winnie the Pooh. They're not going to be intimidated. They're not going to be scared at all. They're going to laugh at me. I can't hear it on my left ear. In any crisis, I'm going to play dead. I'm not going to help. I'm not going to do anything to save myself or anybody around me. I'm going to play dead. I probably have hepatitis C because I got a tattoo in someone's basement when I was 15 years old. So it's likely that I have hepatitis. So in that case, I cannot give blood. And if I'm injured and my blood spills everywhere and gets into somebody, I'm infecting everyone with hepatitis C. You don't want
Poor
me there.
girls.
I'm on a weight loss journey. I have a very strict diet. I can't do the C rations. I don't like dirt. I function off of Diet Coke and I don't think the military provides that. I have an emotional support cup I carry around. It goes everywhere with me. I won't have enough free hands to shoot the gun. You do not want me in the draft. You don't want me fighting for the...
Let's check out some of these comments, man. What do you guys think of this? First comment here says, girl, I used my period to get out of PE. I'm not fighting in a war. You don't have a choice. Another comment says, I don't even parallel park. Oh yeah, we know. We know. Another comment says, everyone's period would cinch up and it would... Okay, what's up with the period comments, man? It's disgusting. Grow up. It's the female body. Shut up. So this comment read, everyone's period would cinch up and it would be game over for the enemy. Just all jokes, huh? So that's all that we have here. Another comment says, I'm in my healing era. Sorry. Don't go into soft girl era now. Nope. It's time to be strong, masculine, and loud. Another woman here says they're going to have to just arrest me because the military is just not in my cards. Another comment here from another female future draftee says, has anyone created a going to war Pinterest board yet? Somebody else here says, do we get to pick our teams or is it assigned? Another comment here reads, why can't we all just talk about our feelings instead of fighting? I'm gonna need everyone's zodiac sign. And finally, our last comment here says, okay, fine, but I'm definitely a people pleaser, so I can't promise I won't switch sides. Yes. Listen, guys, what do you guys think of this announcement? Is this good news? And do you think that modern women are prepared to drink this coffee? As always, man, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.
Let's see.
Education is a trending topic right now because there are so many things I want to say. The first is that, yes, a lot of people cannot read and a lot of people cannot comprehend or understand things or even write.
Your son or your daughter is in this intervention class because they are reading at 3rd and 2nd grade levels. They cannot understand informational text. They do not understand literature. They cannot debunk or debrief. They can't summarize a simple paragraph.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
To go and gift books for kids that are around you, read them with kids. Every time there's a chance to celebrate a holiday.
So apparently Gen Z can't read? Hey guys, what's up? It's Emergency Network. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are back and talking about something that I've been seeing a lot on the internet as of recently, especially on Twitter and TikTok and other social media platforms, where Gen Z and honestly some of Gen Alpha are getting a lot of can't read allegations. No, Leah Michelle. There seems to be a rising issue being voiced by educators around the country from an academic sense, and then just from like a day-to-day internet user sort of sense of Gen Z, specifically younger Gen Z and older Gen Alpha, not really learning or being able to keep up with what is expected for them at their grade level. And then from an internet side of things, just from the way that different internet scandals, media stories, and the way that things are just portrayed online, especially in recent years, shows that media literacy is just down as a whole across the board. And in this video, we're going to talk about that and really get to the root of if there's any merit to these claims of decreased media literacy and just Gen Z not being able to read or do math or really keep up with anything like they used to back in the day. And then getting into some reasonings and explanations for why this may be, what's causing this. And then we'll take a little dip into talking about the attention economy and the Gen Z millennial debate that has been raging on for the past couple of years. But before we do that, if you are new around here, hi, I'm Rumi, and you are watching Emer Gen Z. a little series that I have on this channel where we talk about all things Gen Z and media, pop culture, and just Gen Z stuff in general. I also post other commentary content, tier lists, show reviews, the whole nine. So if any of that sounds of interest to you, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of the content that I have coming out on this channel. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video because it helps out so much with the YouTube algorithm like you don't understand. And also while you're at it, if you want to see more lifestyle content, so things like fashion, or if you just want to keep up with what I do when I'm not here on YouTube, you can follow me on my other socials here at Emergency on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. But let's get into this topic, shall we? So like I was saying before, there have been multiple educators, whether they be teachers, professors, or just people that work in education, that have been noting and vocalizing their concerns with the classes that they have been teaching, and specifically with their students' performance in class.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm gonna just say this. I teach 7th grade, they are still performing on the 4th grade level. I don't care how you flip it, turn it, swing it, swindle it. They still performing on the 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they just keep moving, passing them on. They just keep passing them on, 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 passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're gonna move that child to 8th grade next year. And why don't y'all know that y'all kids not performing on their grade level? Why y'all don't know this? Why y'all don't know? Talk about it. Let's unpack. Because y'all be quick to talk about, oh, the teacher this, the teacher this, the teacher, it's your job, baby. I just got here 30 days ago. She was performing on the 4th grade level since 4th grade.
Which has rightfully raised a lot of flags for a lot of people, because like whenever the rhetoric of like, oh my god, the youth is failing us, like the kids are not alright, goes viral, like people tend to really run with that. And it truly is genuinely concerning to hear that kids are moving through the education system without fully getting a grasp of what they're learning and the material that they need to move on to the next grade level. Because like people have been mentioning online and in the comments of these videos, if this keeps on happening and students are being continuously pushed throughout the education system and throughout middle school, high school, and college without ever really getting a grasp on the fundamentals of what they need to actually go through these levels, it's going to set us up for failure for when in 10, 15, 20 years, we have that population of people go into specialized careers, like being your doctor, being your lawyer, being your accountant, being governmental figures, and things like that, because no one really challenged or encouraged them to do a little better or actually really learn the material that they're supposed to be learning in school while they were in school. And the question that a lot of people have been asking since these educators have come forward is like, why is this the case? Like if you see these students struggling or not being at grade level, why are you as the teacher not doing anything to step in? And this is my take on it. I feel like while yes, it is the teacher's job to help students and to prepare these students for the grade level that they are at, I think it's also kind of a stretch to ask teachers to be able to compensate for years and years of children being left behind while still trying to teach them the things that they're actually supposed to learn in their grade level to be ready for the next grade level. On top of the fact that classrooms nowadays are only getting bigger, there are fewer and fewer educators in the system, and to be honest, teachers just aren't paid enough to do all that, especially when they're paying out of pocket already for a lot of their school supplies and stuff to do their job. I think in this scenario, it's important to look at the higher structures at play, like the school boards, the standardized curriculums that a lot of public schools have, as well as the parents as well. I don't feel like this falls squarely on the shoulders of the teachers, because it really does take a village to raise and educate children. And I feel like especially now, as someone who's a part of Gen Z and went through the education system, I can say confidently, at least the way that I experienced education through like the common curriculum just was not helpful and beneficial to actually learning, especially in an environment where there are like 20 or so kids in a class with one single teacher, because people don't all learn the same way for one, and two, it's just so difficult to be able to accommodate to so many people in the current way that education is being set up. And with the way that things have been going with education nationally, outside of the control, from a higher up perspective, I see that things are only going to get worse. But let's talk about some factors that contribute to this from a Gen Z perspective. For one, I feel like the whole structure and concept of education has been completely shifted because of the pandemic. Like I was in college during the lockdown eras when classes were primarily online, and that completely shifted everything for me when I was in college. Like I can't imagine like being in high school or even younger doing classes and just school as a whole online, because I feel like during that era things were either super hard or like super easy. Like I remember complaining, I think some videos are actually up on the channel of me complaining about the amount of busy work that was given during that era just to say like, okay, we've done it. That wouldn't necessarily be challenging or like really necessary, but would be done just to get the grade and to pass us through. And there would be that section of the education system under lockdown. And then there would be the complete opposite where it's like something where it's like a paper assignment or whatever that's like super difficult and definitely needs more experience explaining and context behind it, but we just never be given that, and we're just expected to figure it out, which is a whole nother issue. And like I said, that was difficult to navigate when I was in college. We're in independent study, and I guess education is more encouraged. But in like high school and middle school, where you're kind of dependent on your teacher to figure out how to do stuff, I can't imagine how difficult that must have been. If you were in high school during the lockdowns and remember that experience, let me know in the comments, like, how was that for you? Because that just sounds like hell. But yeah, the pandemic definitely impacted education for a lot of Gen Z. So of course that would translate to like post-lockdown times, because you have this whole 2 to 3 year era where people are just lagging behind because they didn't really get the education that they were supposed to. Then you have things like the rise of AI with ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence things that help students, that have caused an increase in like school cheating through like papers and like assignments and stuff like that. And since we have intelligence to essentially write, comprehend, and otherwise do things for us, it's easy to see how all those things add up into the situation that we've gotten ourselves in today, where we have a whole group of us as Gen Z that don't read because they don't need to, they don't write as well because they don't need to, and don't critically think because social media has gotten us accustomed to having any content that we want to see or think we might want to see be served to us through algorithms on platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and even here on YouTube. Which brings me to my next point. Media literacy? Girl, it's time to be real. I say this with peace and love, but we as Gen Z, we as a generation are media illiterate. Like, media literacy is at an all-time low. And I'm guilty of this sometimes too. Like, the girlies don't be reading in between the lines like they used to. But before we get into more of that, let's take a pause and let's define what media literacy is so we're all on the same page. According to Google, media literacy is the ability to critically analyze stories presented in the mass media and to determine their accuracy or credibility. And I hate to say this, but I feel like a lot of our media literacy has been dumbed down to the Twitter community notes. Like, that is our critical think. Like, the fact that that's becoming such a strong tool to really combat mis and disinformation and to figure out if something is real or not. I mean, of course, like, it isn't completely our fault, because with like the rise of deepfakes and, like I was saying before, AI generated images, narratives, and things like that is becoming increasingly more difficult to discern which is which. But when a story comes out and 1 and 1 are equaling 3, I think that we need to try a little bit harder to understand for ourselves that something might not be adding up, you know? And I feel like that has definitely bled into social media culture so much. Like, you could see it with literally anything. Like, there is such little nuance and critical thought that goes into a lot of the discourse and conversations that go on online. Like, I feel like when people talk about issues online, they tend to take an either black or white stance, like it's either this or that, when likely 99.9% of the time, issues are very gray and complex and multifaceted, but because it's more convenient and beneficial commercially to make a headline or an issue sound more one-sided and shocking and problematic than it actually is, that's what the community tends to run with, and that's what gets proliferated. And this is why I feel like things sort of taper off from just being about Gen Z to also spreading to millennials, because I feel like millennials and a lot of millennial discourse recently, again, no hate to millennials. I'm not here to promote the generation wars. However, I have been seeing a lot of millennials sort of rag on Gen Z for just not being media literate, for not being able to critically think, or just being deemed as like not as smart as previous generations. Gen X too, y'all aren't safe. But I feel like across the board, no matter what generation you are, media literacy and being able to discern and figure out what's BS and what is real, it clocks everybody across the board. Because like the way that I see boomers and Gen X fall for any headline that they see, especially, God forbid it's on Facebook or WhatsApp, like they are running with it like it was written in the Bible itself. And that's just crazy to me, because you're gonna see something that conspiracy theorist 344 wrote on Facebook and come back and tell the family that we need to start preparing because they said that aliens are about to beam us from the sky and we're media illiterate, we're the dumb ones, we're gullible. Right. And as for millennials, I feel like the things that Gen Z falls for and gets into arguments about are very similar to the things that millennials fall for and gets into arguments about. Because while the education system may have not failed millennials as much and as severely as the education system has failed Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I get up on Twitter today and see the both of us and get caught up and believe an article or a headline posted by Pop Basset instead of Pop Base because we looked at it too quickly. Like, honestly, no shade to anyone, but I feel like the ability to critically think is becoming more and more scarce of an ability and a resource. And honestly, I'd say that a lot of that is due to the decrease in the attention economy overall. And you may be asking yourself, for me, what the attention economy? That sounds like a buzzword that you commentary YouTubers came up with to make things sound more dramatic. And honestly, it might be. Let me look it up. Hold on. No, okay. There are sources and definitions on the internet, according to Wikipedia. Attention economics is an approach to the management of information that treats human attention as a scarce commodity and applies economic theory to solve various information management problems. That wasn't exactly how I was going to use attention economy. Kind of sort of similar. When I talk about the attention economy, I just mean, see, this is me where my critical thinking and media literacy is being tested. But basically what I mean when I talk about the attention economy, and specifically the shortening of the attention economy, is essentially managing the length of time that people are willing to allocate to things before moving on to the next thing. So kind of like the definition was saying, like the amount of resource, in this sense, resource being attention, someone has to allot to an amount of things. So when I talk about the shortening of the attention economy, I feel like as the content that we consume gets shorter and shorter, because things are being promoted to be shorter and shorter, with the rise in popularity and prevalence of short-form video, short-form literature, making things as snappy and quickly digestible as possible, we're losing recipes here. Well, no. Because we've gotten so used to consuming things in 15, 30, 60-second intervals that when things get over 90 seconds, or when someone talks too slow, or if an article is too long, like we just will look away. We will move our attention elsewhere, try to find it in a shorter and more digestible and punchy fashion. And the result of that means that a lot of information is being cut down. A lot of that information being things that would provide that nuance and would give the fuller picture are being lost and being reduced down to things that will catch your attention and grab that attention quickly, which tend to be the most flashy and polarizing things, which again don't give the full story. And as we've gotten more and more used to this, going backwards becomes a lot harder. Like I feel like you have to train yourself to be able to consume longer and longer content to expand your attention span. Like I'm honestly shocked that y'all be watching these long form commentary videos and podcasts, but can't watch a TikTok or a short video that's longer than 90 seconds. But then again, now that I say it out loud, that might just be because of the way that content is consumed in short form and long form. Like I feel like right now, sorry, I don't mean to call you out. I genuinely don't mean to call you out. I did this one time before and it really freaked out some of y'all, but I know that some of y'all aren't sitting down and watching this. Like I know that some of y'all are likely watching this or listening to this while you're doing something else. Maybe cooking, cleaning, going on a walk, taking a little poo, like very much passively consuming this content. And actually, if you're just sitting down, you made it this far, and you're genuinely watching, like not doing anything else and watching this video, hats off to you. Yeah, comment down below. Leave a comment right now under this timestamp being like, I am actually presently watching you. And I'm gonna like your comment because good for you. Yeah. But then I feel like in comparison to short form, I feel like short form content consumption is very much active. Like you are locked and you are right here watching. Like you are likely not doing anything else while you're watching these. So while it's easier to passively listen or follow along to a longer form video while you're doing something else that's also keeping your attention going, when you're watching short form, you're locked in, so that attention is very much one-on-one. Like it needs to be quick and snappy so you can just keep scrolling and scrolling. Interesting hypothesis. But yeah, overall I feel like when talking about the decrease in reading level, media literacy levels, and just academic and intellectual performance, this isn't necessarily as much of a Gen Z and Gen Alpha issue as it is a societal and systemic issue. Like we as Gen Z as well as Gen Alpha are being failed. This isn't to say that we have no accountability in this. Like of course our education at some point is in our own hands, but there are a lot of factors that are also out of our hands in terms of creating widespread accessible solutions. So yeah, I do think it's concerning that Gen Z can't read, and I really do feel for teachers trying to do their best, but honestly being way in over their heads because these kids have been failed time after time after time. But I do feel like there is something that has to be done on a higher, more systemic level to be able to compensate and help meet people where they're at and bring them up to speed. Whether that be from the government, whether that be from school boards, whether that be from parents, checking in on their kids more.
China's the factory of the world. The world's most populous country is facing a crisis.
China's population is aging, fertility rates are at an all-time low.
Gender imbalance in China. Rapidly rising number of older people in the population.
It does not have young people to man its factories or join its army.
China is facing a crisis, threatening to end the nation as we know it in the coming few years. China's population crisis has gone from a social worry to a government emergency, as the population decline now begins to affect industry and commerce in the Eastern Giant. While many countries struggle with overpopulation, China, the world's most populated country with more than 1.4 billion people, has a different problem. Their population crisis manifests in that the citizens of the Dragon of the East are just not having enough fun time. Yes, low birth rates are the bane of the nation. And these low birth rates might be what spells doom for the nation. In this video, I will explain 1. How low birth rates became a problem to begin with, and 2. The social and economic implications on China as a result. Let's proceed.
The rise of China is the biggest event in recent economic history in the world. So within 30 years, in terms of growth rate of total GDP.
Every country's down. I doubt China's even the worst. United States is probably worse. Let's see.
City fam, what is up? It is Bobby coming at you from the grocery store, about to show you the top 10 fake foods you're buying every day. And I think we'll have to go to 2 stores because I don't think Walmart carries sushi, which is the fakest food of all. You'll be surprised, from sushi, coffee, tea, spices, cheese. You're buying fake food every single day, and that's a serious problem. And I'll tell you also not only how to talk over a pickup truck, but how to avoid those fake foods in the grocery store. Before we go do our deal, like, subscribe, share, my friend. The only way the channel keeps growing is by you spreading that Flav City love. Okay, let's not get run over and go shopping. They didn't have any sushi at Walmart, but many grocery stores have them. And I'm sorry to say that sushi is one of the fakest foods in the country. If you order at a restaurant, if you order in, you're most likely getting fake sushi. In fact, there was a study done a few years ago in New York City. They ordered sushi from every single restaurant, and 100% came back fake. It's called fish swapping. You order one type of fish, and you get a cheaper one. It's usually not only cheaper, but worse for you. One of the biggest offenders is something called white tuna. I don't see it here. It says ahi tuna. But if you've ever ordered super white tuna, there's no such thing as white tuna. It's actually a South American fish called escolar that's way cheaper and is known to cause gastrointestinal issues. Don't order that. I also have issues with a lot of salmon, because all salmon from any sushi place is almost always going to be farmed salmon. Farm salmon can vary in quality depending on where you get it, and some farming practices can be really, really bad. The thing is, the smaller it is and the more minced up it is, the more mystery it could be. So if you're going to eat sushi, you want to get bigger pieces like this, and even something like this. I know that's tuna, but tuna to me is a big fish, generally older, tends to be a high mercury, high heavy metal fish. The only one that rated 100% accurate was a Nobu, but Nobu is ungodly expensive. Unless you know of a small local place that has really high quality sushi and they know where they get it, you're getting fake sushi, you're paying top dollar for it, and it usually is a much cheaper fish than you ordered. You may have heard me say in the past never to buy or give your kids these kinds of juices. That's because they're from concentrate and they're highly pasteurized, and I'll tell you why that's bad. But also, a lot of these apple juice concentrates, including ones you know and love, are from sources you might not know, like, here we go, it's very hard to see and they do that on purpose. Concentrate from USA, Poland, and China. which is very, very surprising. But actually, China supplies 90% of the apple juice concentrate to the world. And the problem with that is that China has a lot of issues with quality. Number one, there was like 6 or 7 years ago, they were caught using apples that were rotten and spoiled. But Chinese farming is not regulated like it is here in the States, meaning they can use sewer water for the farming. Oftentimes the farmland and the soil is tainted with heavy metals, which can raise stuff like lead and arsenic. You want to avoid that kind of stuff, and you don't want to give your kids anything but apple juice concentrate from China. The funny thing is, if you go to this brand right here, the Great Value Walmart brand, this is actually not from concentrate, which is what you want, and it's made here with 100% U.S. grown apples. This is something I still wouldn't give my kid because it's highly pasteurized, but at least it's not from concentrate. It's from the good old USA. And even other brands here, it's just super weird. I mean, this one here is from Argentina, Chile, Turkey, or Ukraine. So while it might not have the same problems as China, try to find USA apple juice, and better yet, I'd get something that was not highly pasteurized. I would get something cold pressed or fresh. It's going to have more living nutrients in there. A lot of folks ask me what I think about greens powders like these. I did a lot of research about them because I wanted to incorporate them in my diet, and by far, this is the best one. You probably see me using it on Instagram all the time. It's the Laird Superfood Prebiotic Daily Greens. It beats the pants out of anyone on the market.
G'day ladies and gentlemen, my name's Isaac Butterfield, and recently I made a video detailing why I hate Gen Z. And a lot of people agree with me. They are the worst, the absolute worst people that have ever, and I mean ever, and there's been a lot of bad people that have ever existed on this planet, ever. And she's a great reflection on who and what Gen Z is. There you go.
Shaking is such a primal practice of releasing trauma and somatic blockages and emotions through our body, especially our hips.
Maybe that's why all those whores twerk all the time, because they're just full of trauma. It's going to be a long video.
Going to the gym doesn't make you better than anyone else.
It certainly makes me better than you. And in today's video, I'm going to give you some more evidence. So why don't we just all sit back, relax, and enjoy a very shitty ride into the world of Gen Z.
I'm Nala Ray. I am the Ahego Queen.
What is the... how's it pronounced?
Ahego.
Yes, this is the Whatever podcast that I've been on. It was very fun. Did you see what her eyes did then? See how she does the eye? I can't really do it. But if I did do it, don't screenshot it. I want to make it look like I'm one of those ladies. Or maybe I am. Anyway, point being, you can tell by the fact that she has furry ears, her tits out, and that she's just going to say something great. And she's a great reflection on who and what Gen Z is. There you go. You know why people do that? To represent someone ejaculating on them. Wow.
The cum face, basically.
Lord have mercy.
I don't think he was there. I think that was added in after.
Okay. That's the other one. That's the other one. Okay.
I'm dominant.
You're dominant?
Yes. I'm
What?
daddy.
You're daddy.
Uh-huh.
I want to get in contact with a pharmaceutical company and buy out an entire year's supply of antipsychotics. She needs them intravenously now.
Yeah.
Is that her? Daddy.
I'm daddy. I fuck girls with strap-ons. This is what makes me more dominant. I would fuck a guy.
Why wasn't I there for this episode? It would have been hilarious. I'm going to go back on that show. It was fun.
I would fuck a guy, but they're too scared.
See, now everyone's being polite and listening. You need some dickhead like me to push back. Not against the strap-on.
Do you date men or women?
Oh, I'm so attracted to men. I feel like my masculine energy is higher than most men's masculine energy.
Shut up.
Like even in bed, I would literally fuck you until you were doubting your sexuality. I also tried someone who did what I did, and I turned them basically gay. So I fucked him until he became gay or something. I swear to God.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like you're like, oh my God, I have no more inside my body anymore. The fuck is wrong with this lady? Like you'll never want to cheat on me.
I remember when I was 16 and I had that problem. Ah yes, blisters on me knob.
But if you're with someone and you have a girl, I'm gonna sit on your fucking and be like, isn't my tighter?
Isn't it better? Isn't that just hot? I'm a competition in myself. Like, I just have to.
I think we need to bleep a lot of what she just said. Because YouTube's going to go, hey, he's up. It's going to be a long video. Before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, this video is brought to you by our sponsors, Beam. Did you know that poor sleep can lead to weight gain, mood issues, poor mental health? There's a whole wide array of problems that can come from not sleeping. In fact, sleeping less than 6 to 7 hours a night is linked with reduced white blood cell count. And white blood cells are there to protect your body against illnesses and disease, fighting viruses, bacteria and whatnot. Not sleeping as much can affect you to that point. Sleep is our foundation of mental and physical health. Having a constant sleep routine that is positive is non-negotiable. I know personally, after my wife and I had our son Atticus, it disappeared. It was so bad, but you really do feel how that affects you throughout your day. And I dream of the day that I can sleep for 8 hours again. But I tell you what, that'll come very, very shortly as he gets older. But if you are struggling with your sleep, then maybe our sponsor today can help. And on top of that, you get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder, their best-selling healthy hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. It's now available in delicious flavors like cinnamon cocoa, chocolate peanut butter, and mint chip. Better sleep has never tasted better. Now, Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, ampiogenin. I absolutely love this product. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, it is very, very soothing, gentle, and nice. That's all I need to say about it. My God. Ladies and gentlemen, get up to 50% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Butterfield. Use the code CYBER at checkout.